Hello, my beauty and beasts. My name is Jamie if you're new to my channel. If you're not, welcome back. Make sure to hit that subscribe button, and if you hit the little bell next to it, you get notified every time I make a new video. That way you don't miss any. Make sure to hit like if you like the video after you've watched it. Don't you worry, you can watch it first. You don't have to click like unless you do like it. If you don't like it, click don't like. That's what it's there for, right? Alright, well overall, this is part 2 to I found a man who claims he let the black-eyed children into his home. So where we left off is I let us and him regain his composure. I was sitting huddled up in the hallway when I heard the door slowly creak open. I pulled my head from my knees and looked in horror at the shadow slowly approaching the doorway. My heart was racing so fast I was about to pass out. Just before I did, though, those damn 2 kids stepped out of that room covered in blood. They were smiling these awful grins, and that's when I got a look at their eyes. No white, just black, like the devil's eyes himself were in the children. That's when everything went black for me, and I must have fainted because I woke up at the hospital to a whole frenzy of doctors and policemen bombarding me with questions. I told them what happened, but of course, they didn't believe me. I mean, would you? I wouldn't. So, long story short, on that, they found me insane, and I've been here ever since. And at this point, he was done telling me the story. So when I tell you, son, don't ever let those black-eyed kids in your home, you listen, please. I must only be here today because the policeman scared them kids off, or I know I'd be dead too. I wish I was every day. He looked down and began sobbing again. I sat there in disbelief. I mean, here this guy was, just sitting at a crazy home. So he had to just be insane, right? I'm not sure, but I do know one thing for sure. If black-eyed kids show up at my house, they're staying the fuck outside. I gotta admit, I mean, I love the way he ended that. I mean, I agree. If black-eyed kids showed up at my house, they're staying outside for sure. I'm sorry. If they're normal kids, like, I'll help them call their parents and stuff. But even then, I mean, I don't know. It's strange days nowadays. It's creepy to just let anybody into your home, But I do have another paranormal video for you since this one here is so short as the second part. So I'm going to do an entire video for you, but I found one that I think you're really going to love. Alright guys, so this one is titled, I Met a Demon on the Tokyo Subway. This story is a retelling of something that happened to me when I was 7 years old. As the years have gone by and I've grown up, I've realized that the story cannot possibly be true, yet I can't shake the feeling that it is. It happened in Tokyo, in the subway station. I was standing with my father when I saw the demon, a monstrously tall and furry creature with leathery black wings and a snout like an anteater. I must have stared at him for close to 10 minutes before he finally spoke, in a soft mutter that he was clearly intending for his ears only. "This human is creeping me out," he said. "It almost looks as if he's looking right at me." "I am looking at you," I said. The demon nearly jumped out of his own skin. "You can see me?" he asked. "Yes. Can't everybody?" Not unless they're in the 5th dimension." Am I in the 5th dimension?" I asked. "Your mind must have slipped over here by mistake. What were you thinking about before you saw me?" I thought for a moment, then grinned. "Trains." "Oh, well, trains are the link between our dimensions. I guess your mind must have wandered over here. Either that, or you're just going crazy." "Well, I hope I'm not going crazy," I said. "Being crazy is a good thing in the 5th dimension," the demon replied. I laughed. Do you have subway lines in the fifth dimension? I asked. Of course, he said. How else would we get to work? Well, you've got wings, I said. Yeah, but who wants to fly? Taking the train is so much faster, and if I fly to work, I'm all sweaty when I get there. So, what do you use your wings for? I asked. I put them over my head when it rains. Can I see? I asked. Sure, the demon said. My hair blew back as he swooped his enormous wings over his head. I laughed again. You're funny. The demon laughed too, but then his expression changed. Are you okay? I asked. You seem sad. Yes, the demon replied, not looking at me, but at something behind me. Say, would you like to see a magic trick? Okay. The demon reached up and tugged a big rainbow handkerchief out of his snout. He must have pulled out 20 feet before he ran out. That's funny, I laughed. But I stopped when I realized I wasn't holding my dad's hand anymore. I looked around and saw the subway station had disappeared, replaced by flowing green meadows that were full of old trains. I can't see the subway station anymore, I said. That's okay, said the demon. Sometimes it's better to see what isn't there instead of what is. What do you mean? Sometimes when I'm bored or sad, my mind slips off to the third dimension, and I see people like you. That's funny, I laughed. Can you go to other dimensions too? But the demon didn't answer. He was looking up at the sky. It's starting to rain, he said, whooshing his wings up over his head. Warm droplets of rain hit my face. Can I get under your wings with you? I asked. Not now, he replied. You've got to go home now. The world began to shimmer and flow together like different shades of green and golden paint, spinning around faster and faster in circles. I started to feel a little sick, and I closed my eyes. The world stopped spinning, and warm droplets of water still fell on my face. I opened my eyes and saw my mom crying over me, but I didn't see my dad. Where's Dad? I asked her. Did he bring me home? Yes, darling, she said, although she didn't look at me when she said it. He brought you home, and then he had to go away. Oh, I replied. When will he be back? I don't know, she said. My dad never did come back. It was years before I found out the truth. He had killed himself that day. That morning he had written a note to my mother explaining that he intended to bring me along and step in front of a train with me. My mother found it when she got home from work and called the police immediately, but it was too late to stop my father. The witnesses say that just before he jumped, I pulled away from his hand and ran off, fainting right after. But one of the witnesses, a little boy around my age, said that he saw something take my hand and lead me away from the speeding train. He said it was a monstrously tall and furry creature with leathery black wings and an anteater snout. And that concludes the end of that story. When I saw that, I skimmed through it a little bit to make sure it was a well enough story for you guys, but I did not read it all the way through. I did not expect it to quite end that way, because I did not spoil the ending for myself. And that was just amazing. Like, I kind of expected this demon to take off with this kid, to be honest with you, and it to be a little bit darker, but I gotta admit, I think I'm a little bit happy that it's a happier style story. Overall, that was a really cool take on what demons possibly could be like in certain scenarios. Like, and I'm not saying demons are good in any way. I'm just simply stating, like, that's a crazy one. Like, that, I don't know, that one's intense. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Make sure you click that like button. You know your girl would really appreciate the support here. And to all my beauty and beasts, goodbye. Make sure you hit subscribe and then like.